I'm WeFammin, and this is my guide for noobs, Ineffa edition. Let's get started. To start off with her playstyle, she's an off-field sub DPS, so all she does is skill and burst. Then your next support skill and burst, whatever your rotation is. And then switch over to your main DPS. Onto her weapon, the Prospector Shovel is very good. It's a craftable in Not Cry, and get this to R5 if you can because the description is really good. If you have $10 to spare, the Balor of the Fjord is also decent too. Personally, I'm running Balor of the Fjord because I want this extra crit rate. But if you don't want to spend the money, Prospector Shovel is very good. Alright, onto her artifacts. The new artifact, Silken of the Moon Serenade, is her best in slot by a mile. If you have at least 2 non-cry people on your team, you get 120 free elemental mastery and a 10% lunar damage buff. For the main stat, you want to go for attack, and then crit. For the substats, you want to go for attack first. You just wanted to make sure that she has at least 2000 attack before going for her crit. I'll explain it later in her abilities. So you want to go for attack, then crit, and then elemental mastery. You could use the Gilded Dream set, but that's coping a little bit, and her best in slot artifact just came out. Alright, now onto her talents. The normal auto attack, useless, don't upgrade that. The skill is really good. So whenever you press it, it sends out a little robot that fights for you. It will just do off-field damage like this every few seconds. The second part of her skill is whenever you use it, you'll get a shield, electric shield, that is based on her attack. The little dude in the shield will stay out for 20 seconds, while the cooldown is only 16 seconds, so you have perfect uptime. Alright, for her burst, she'll do a big cannon shot, and she will summon the little dude again. It's really not that important, I brought it up to level 9, I might cry on it later. For a second Ascension passive, I'll talk about this one later. For a second Ascension passive, whenever she uses her burst, the active player will gain elemental mastery based on Ineffa's attack. So this is why Ineffa needs 2000 attack for the maximum buff of the elemental mastery. Alright, now let's talk about these two passive. Because Ineffa is a non-cry person, there's a new reaction called Lunar Charge. It's basically just electro charge, all the small numbers, but it's added up to one big number, so it looks better. So whenever you do electro charge, it'll be converted into lunar charge, and there will be a thunderstorm above the person. The lunar charge has a very long weird math equation, and it counts her skill level, so make sure you get this skill level as high as you can. Now when I apply hydro to them, they're going to become lunar charge. Normally electro charge, so you see that one big number? That's a lunar charge. That's just this passive ability. The small numbers will become one big number, and this can't crit, so you want as high a crit as you can. And now let's talk about this passive ability. Whenever the little dude attacks someone, and there's a thundercloud nearby, Ineffa will just attack them again for more damage. So like almost twice the damage. Alright, now let's go over her constellation. Her C1, whenever her shield is active, the active player will gain more lunar charge damage based on Ineffa's attack. This is almost designed just for Flints. Alright, for her C2, whenever you press her burst, she will mark an enemy for a few seconds or when they die, and then after a few seconds, it'll do more damage. Alright, for a C4, you just get more energy whenever you do lunar charge reactions. Kinda useless. Alright, for a C6, whenever her shield is active, she'll do more damage. Her C1 is good enough as a support. The rest of her constellation are really not that good. Alright, now let's go over teams. Ineffa was designed to be a support for Flints, like Iskafi for Skirk, Lauma for Ineffa for Flints. If you don't have Flints, Ineffa works with any water people. Or you can run double Electro and one water person. Or you can run one of my favorite teams, Ineffa, Farina, Yao Yao, Sucrose, the Pokemon team. The Pokemon team is fun because you do off-field damage, you get a shield from Ineffa, and Yao heals you. I highly recommend this Pokemon team. Another goofy team is the Lily Overload team. Ineffa is here for the shield and for the elemental boost. Alright, Ineffa E burst. Bennett E burst. Chef Roost E. And then I go crazy with Lenny. No damage. She is very cozy to build, very comfy to play, and overall a very good teammate. So now hopefully you understand how to play Ineffa. Alright, peace out.